Welcome in to episode 318 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I am Tyler Siskey. This is the three-time national champ, the three-time world champ, and the co-host of the Bama Dynasty podcast with Chris Stewart. Just did it again. And the future lieutenant governor of the state of Alabama, AJ McCarron. How we doing, sir?
Oh, good. Just trying to manage some chaos. That's about it.
Yes, and I'm having to manage the audio over here because I am not a producer by any stretch of the imagination. I do know how to pick up simulated pressures though, so that's kind of my specialty, right? But
Yeah.
as I was stating on mute just a few minutes ago, we are proudly brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel, 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and zero sugars. It's got what you need to push your limits and become lieutenant governor of your state right here. How about that?
How about that?
How about that? We'll let everybody get in the chat. I apologize in advance. I've probably hit all kinds of different buttons. We'll get it figured out. We got the audio ready to go. Now I had the mute on, then I had it off, then I turned AJ's on, turned it off, and I started the show with it on mute. So congratulations to me. AJ, just in case you're curious, because of your announcement, the Kia of Meridian chat is already bumping, and it's going to be bumping with all kinds of support. I'm sure we'll have some trolls in here at some point in today, but right now, the Kia Meridian chat is falling into big savings right now at Kia of Meridian. It's the perfect time to upgrade your ride with unbeatable deals like at Kia of Meridian. Whether you're looking for a new car, truck, or SUV, or a certified pre-owned vehicle, Kia of Meridian's got something for everyone. They have 0%. How about that? 0% APR on remaining 2025 Sorrentos. Huge discounts on all remaining 2024 inventory, and they're giving up to $3,000 off Kelley Blue Book on your trade-in. So come see the friendly, no-pressure sales team and our top-notch service department. Fall savings will not last long. So give them a call at area code 601-483-6444. And most importantly, AJ, after you win the election and you are the lieutenant governor of the state of Alabama, when you get up there in your acceptance speech, you're going to get up there and you're going to say, I would like to thank the constituents of the great state of Alabama for voting me into the office of lieutenant governor. However, I have one thing and one thing only on my mind, and that is Trav, spin the wheel. Y'all want to win awesome prizes like a PS5, an Xbox, a TV, and more. So check them out at Kia of Meridian. We're also brought to you by the official RV dealer. Shout out right there. County Line Campers. What is County Line Campers? They're located right there, exit 38 I-10 in the great city of Gulfport, Mississippi. So what's better than hitting the road than a brand new RV risk-free, AJ? Right now at County Line Campers in Gulfport, you call Rob up. He's going to give you a brand spanking new 2026 Gulfstream travel trailer, your choice of the 21-foot bunk model or the rear bath, for just $14,999. That's right. And here's the kicker. If after a year you don't like it, within the year, if you say, you know what, I don't like this one, I want something else, you can go back to Rob and he's going to give you every dime of it back in trade-in value. That's right. Every penny you paid as a full trade-in value toward any new RV on the lot. That's right. You can try the RV lifestyle risk-free for 1 year. So whether you're camping at the islands or tailgating in Tuscaloosa or parking down in Biloxi for the weekend, you'll have peace of mind knowing your investment's protected. So check them out at countylinecampers.com and don't miss your chance to roll out risk-free at County Line Campers. How about that?
How about that?
You got to listen to the rain one like twice because I was on mute. So congratulations.
Yeah.
All right, let's get crack-a-lacking here. First things, I'm sure you saw this today, or maybe you didn't, but this morning the FBI arrested Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier for a gambling scandal in the NBA. I don't know how you feel about this, but I've said this forever. I think it's very difficult in today's age for a player to truly, without getting caught, fix a game. But when you start putting in props, like all the play, like I've gotten to the point now that every time I see a player go out with a soft tissue injury early in the game, I question. I do. In my head, I go, oh, I don't know. And that's what happened. I guess they came out and said that in Rozier's case that he told a bunch of people to take the under on his props, and he left the game after 9 minutes. So, and it was like 200,000. I mean, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Chauncey Billups was involved in a setup poker game or something. I don't know, but yeah, they arrested a bunch of like 30 something people over 11 states today. How about that?
Damn.
How about that?
I saw something today. Did they just make it legal for college athletes to bet on pro sports?
November the 1st, they passed it. It came up last week. November the 1st, they can now. For those that don't know, AJ obviously does because he's seen it through college and in the NFL for a long time. In the NCAA, even as a coach, you could not bet on any sport, pro or college, that was competed on at the NCAA level, right? So you couldn't bet on baseball or basketball or anything like that, even pro sports because they have the equivalent sport in there. But like, could you bet on? Could you go to the casino? Yes, and play blackjack, whatever. Could you bet on like UFC and stuff like that? Yes, because it's not an NCAA sanctioned sport, but nobody really did, right? But you couldn't bet. And like you had those "don't bet on it" posters, right? That was everywhere. Like you would get thrown under the jail if they caught you. I mean, I'm talking about they'd throw you under the jail. Um, with the explosion of sports gambling, um, I think that's kind of taken a different turn as far as that's concerned. As far as I think it's become more mainstream. Just to call it what it is. I personally don't have a problem with somebody betting on pro sports, or as long as they're not betting on their own stuff. I think the biggest issue from a fixing standpoint is the prop bets. I think those can be manipulated very easily. That's my biggest issue. I just don't believe on betting on your team or your game that you're participating in. Basically, I don't believe in that. I think there's a case to bet on yourself. And I think some sports have it where you can bet on yourself or whatever. But the prop bets is where it gets crazy. But yeah, November the 1st, college athletes and coaches can bet on pro sports.
Mm. I just think it opens up a book of just so many issues just down the road in ways that we can't think of right now, and something else will happen, and I don't know.
So here's the thing though, if you think about it, right, is I think this is another case, just in my opinion. I think we're like, because it's a problem today because of Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier, it becomes magnified, right? And to me, it's alcohol, right? We had prohibition at one point in time in this country, and now it's legal. And just because you can go buy alcohol at 21 years old doesn't necessarily make you a drunk, right? And has it ruined lives? Yes, it has. Like gambling has ruined lives. It has. But so has food. So has McDonald's. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like everybody's got problems. And so I guess my point is this is like I've always been it's probably very liberal of me, but I've always been like, you got to let people make their own decisions. And if people, it's kind of like when you do the whole, I'm glad I'm not on TikTok today. Anytime you do the gun control conversation, right? It's like the bad guys are, if they really want to go get a gun, are going to go get a gun, right? It's the
Yeah.
same thing with gambling's been around for a long time, whether there's been apps or not. Now it's made it more readily available because of the phone, but you can do a lot of things on your phone that you couldn't do. You basically got a computer in your hand now, right?
Right.
So if they want to really do it, they're going to do it anyway, right? And so I actually think that I don't know if it's regulation, but when you actually, if you have a system in place to monitor it, I think you can actually catch it better than you could catch it before because it's been going on forever. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
and
people have been
and
getting caught.
and we're high on the NCAA to have a system in place?
Oh no, no,
Yeah.
nothing more than they already do.
I
Nothing more than they
mean,
already do.
them some bitches can't even figure out their own rules,
Yeah, nothing,
and
nothing
now
more than they already do. I mean, you know what I mean? Like they're no, I don't think they got their hands full, obviously. But the thing that's happening here is when people are getting caught, it's not the NCAA that's catching them. It's the books. The books are turning it in. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
I'm just
it's
saying, but think of how many people have friends that are bookies,
mhm.
okay? And how many of those guys are gonna create accounts now and or accounts through friends? I mean, at what point does the betting turn on them betting on themselves or them putting prop bets against themselves? Like, I know we're saying, oh, well, yeah, it's fine to vote on or to gamble on NFL games or pro sports, but who's going to be tracking all those accounts? And do you think like these bookies, or if they're getting paid by these guys on time and they're not having to track them down and everything, like you think they're going to turn them in? No, because I mean, when they're going to get turned in is when they're having an issue of not getting paid, and it's
Yeah,
like, okay, well, now I'll just turn you in.
and that's why I think they're going to do it. I think if well, I mean, obviously, if the you don't if with all the stuff that's out there now, including betonline.ag, with all the stuff that's out there right now, you you just shouldn't have to deal with a bookie. You know what I'm saying? Like you should be able to do it on apps or whatever you use.
Yeah,
But yeah, if you're dealing with a bookie, like that's you're a dumbass. If you're dealing with, I mean, just being honest, if with all the stuff that's out there now, if you're dealing with a bookie, you're a dumbass. I mean, you don't. There's no need to. There's 800. I mean, even whatever app you want to use, you can get in a car and drive 40 minutes at worst and get a hold of it. Here in the state of
it's
Mississippi, it's
almost like this thing started to help kids make money, and now we're not teaching them classes on taxes or anything, and
oh
now we're
no,
letting them gamble. And I mean, we're just trying to. It used to be about education and playing sports and for the love of the game and better yourself and better your life. Now it just seems like it's, hey, we want your life to just turn into an absolute shit show. Have fun.
nice cup there, sir. Where'd you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
that?
yeah. When me and you went down to good
Yes,
old Augusta.
that's right. I didn't know you brought any cups home.
Oh yeah, a lot.
Did you? You brought
Oh
all those
yeah,
cups home?
all of
How many you got?
them.
Did you take
At
mine too?
least
Because I don't
20.
remember what I did with mine. Did you take mine too?
At least 20.
Oh, you took mine too. And
See,
Bob's?
this one right here is yours because you remember what came in the dark
That's what I
cups,
was asking because you don't partake in that. You don't partake
right?
in that. I do.
All the clear cups are mine from
Okay.
having the Powerade or
I
the
would say that
lemonade,
was
but
that was a domestic light, is what that was.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
they got it labeled as, domestic light. To say I looked around, I was like, that's what I was looking at. I was like, is that my cup? All right. I don't know if you saw this. I know you've been busy the last 2 days. Tony Vitello making history, AJ. History. Becoming the first collegiate head coach to go directly to the major leagues from collegiate baseball to be a manager directly from college head coach to manager. Some have gone and worked their way up, but gone directly, becoming the first coach to do that. It was kind of not really a big news deal because it's during football season.
Yeah,
Um, you know,
but it's
uh,
massive for Tennessee.
massive for Tennessee. I was it was an interesting deal. Justin Steele, I don't know if I don't think he's in the chat today, but he was in yesterday. I asked him about it yesterday. I think it's going to be interesting to see because it's a different game now, and it's not the game; it's the different people you're dealing with. You're
It's just the business.
dealing with grown ass men, 162 games. I'll be interested to see his temperament as a major league manager as opposed to how he's been because he was it was almost much watch TV in the spring watching Tennessee play just to see what he would do. If he was chill or
Oh
not.
shit, him and Boone will be competing for who
Oh,
gets the best tosses.
if we can
I
get
can't wait.
if we can get the Giants versus the Yankees a series, that would be nobody
That'd
would
be
care about
sweet.
the players. Everybody just see who's going to
No,
get thrown out.
yeah.
So, be see who can get thrown out. But I think it's an interesting move. I was asking somebody about this the other day. I don't know if there's any validity to it, because I think the SEC is doing with rev share. SEC is giving baseball rev share, but you can't help but think like I don't know if I think when you look at schools like Tennessee, really a lot of the SEC schools who have invested in baseball in the NIL era, but now that we're going to rev share, and they were able to front load and do some things like that, obviously, and not really they won't be affected in the 2026 season. But I wonder if true rev share had anything to do with making seeing that it's going to change. It's going to change for everybody, in this new House versus NCAA settlement, and I'm not going to get into it and burn matches in Neal's absence because he loves this part. But adding the scholarships and change, putting, that's a lot of schools are viewing that as their NIL for baseball is adding the full scholarship to baseball. So it's definitely changing. I don't know how it's going to change in baseball, but it's going to change. And I wonder if any of that had anything to do with it, or is this just a simple chance of you get to go? It could be as simple as I get a chance to go be a major league manager. I mean, that's got to be up there. You know what I'm saying? So,
I
um,
think I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit of both. I talked to some very powerful people. Tell you when we get off. Yesterday, had lunch with them, and I was extremely shocked to find out a lot of the behind the scenes deal and money wise for some of these universities and how much money they're losing in top universities. It was shocking.
mm, imagine that.
And like great football programs that
Mm,
are barely making any money after all this,
hmm.
and it's pretty wild.
Imagine that. I don't know who said
Yep.
that. I say that and they call me crazy. You know what I mean? Been
Well,
saying it for
you're
2
not
years. I'm
because
crazy guy. I'm the crazy guy.
yeah.
It's almost like, you know, it's almost like I've said it 1,000 times. I think there is this. I think the general public sees, oh, the SEC, each school gets 55 point whatever $1 million. The Big Ten's getting 58 or whatever it is this year, right? And that's just like free money. I don't think it would blow the general person's mind how much the budgets have jumped in such a short period of time, and now you've added on revenue share. Okay, and you know, I this is not a joke. I remember getting. I remember when I was at Arkansas State, and as a coach, you're in all these budget meetings, right? I remember at Arkansas State, our budget for the entire, and this was, what, not even 15 years ago. This is what, 13 years ago. Our entire budget for the entire athletic department was like $13 million. About every sport. And so
Mm.
that's why you went to go play teams like you went and got your teeth kicked in 4 weeks a year to get these money games, right? And the money games started. I remember we played in like one of the very first where we got $1 million to go play. And those money games, they really funded our athletic department. And at that time, and I don't know if they are now or not, so if they are, forgive me. At that time, we did not have student fees, but one of the ways that a lot of the G5 athletic departments survived all these years was they would charge the regular student an athletic fee, and so per credit hour it may be $50 or whatever it was per credit hour, and that would go into funding the athletic department. And so that was the G5 level. I remember coming to Ole Miss. I remember sitting in my first budget meeting in Ole Miss, and I remember our budget being $66 million, and that would have been 2012, I guess. I remember it being around 66 million. Hell, they spend more than that in damn football now. You know what I mean? Like it has
Mhm.
and that was right before the SEC network took off and all that stuff, and that TV money exploded. But now all these budgets, I remember, the bigger budgets were like 110, 115 and all that. And they've over doubled in 10 years. And so it's just it's asinine to understand like how much money the budget is, but at the same time how much the staffs have blown up. And like, also at that time on the staff, you may have your 10 coaches. Back then you'd have 10 coaches and 2 GAs, and then you'd have analysts and now you've gotten these staffs have blown up, and they USA Today, you probably didn't see it, but USA Today, they've always kept this running log of like recruiting staffs and how much they make and things like that, or they've all these head coaches and coordinators. They did a recruiting staff one now, and so like the position that I did, that basically got published today on all the schools, and the amount of money that's being spent for that position now is crazy. I mean, you got guys making over $1 million, doing that job, and several people making over $500,000 doing that job. That back in like there's people making $500,000. This is not a joke. There are people that are making $500,000 or more at their job today that 5 years ago were probably making 75 at schools. Now, some of the big schools, they paid back then. You had a few
Right.
schools, the Alabamas and like some of the SEC schools, everywhere I've been, thank God they took care of me and all that stuff. But you had a couple schools that were committed, but you got schools that have never been committed off the field like that. Now that support staff number is blowing up. And so it's just gotten to where I think there's this, I say all that to say this, I think there's like this view that athletic departments are like Scrooge McDuck. They're just sitting on piles of money, and that money it's going, and this rev
Oh,
share and everything has, and buyouts, which we'll get into in a second. But
so
it's kind of
the
crazy.
funny thing is with rev share, just say it's 25 mil. I was told this. I won't name the university, um, but track and field for one of the major universities um, in the SEC, track and field lost $16 million. Track and field,
Yeah, and that's the whole point, right?
and that rev share goes to all sports.
Well, that's you've heard me say this, and people on the show that listen, you've heard me say this, us talking privately, but people have heard me say this on this show many times. It's one of the most mind-boggling things to me. And again, I don't know a whole lot now, but I know this space, right? This is my thing. And one of the mind-boggling things to me is how people can't. There are people in media, there are people making decisions that don't understand what's going on. And it's like, it's right here. I don't know if it's laziness that they won't look. I don't
Yep.
know if it's, I agree with Neal. Neal says this all the time, is that, people get a narrative and by God, they're not going to let go of it. Maybe it's that. I don't know. But like, how many times have you heard me privately or even on the show said there's a reason that they wanted to call it revenue sharing and not profit sharing? Okay. And everybody's heard me say that the only way to fix this is to break away. And they go, well, what do you mean this? Well, the reason you have to break away, AJ just said it, is because the sprinter on the track and field, female track and field team doesn't need to, you have to collective bargain. I agree with that. But you can't have the sprinter on the track and field team on a team that's losing millions of dollars. Not all of them are that extreme, by the way, but they all lose money. But let's say it's 10 million. You can't have somebody on a team losing $10 million a year at the same collective bargaining table with the starting quarterback of your team because you're wanting two different things and all things you can't make all things equal or you will crater everything. Nobody is saying that the players, the athletes should not be paid, but you cannot award people in a sport that don't produce a profit. It's not it's illogical. It's like you don't give Christmas bonuses to a department of your company that lost $20 million. It's you reward. It's insane to me.
It's
And
how you
so
go bankrupt and out of business.
it's and then it's just a mess, man. If you break off the profit producing sports, okay, in my opinion, obviously football. I think basketball to some extent, not all extent, but the top basketball schools, if there was a break off, you wouldn't have Title IX because they could self fund. And then you let the NCAA run what it was designed to do, an amateur organization. But it makes too much sense. And at the end of the day, the biggest hurdle is the people of power. The people
Mm-hmm.
of power don't want to lose their jobs or don't want to lose their stroke.
Yep.
And they are that's where we're at. Got a super chat from Austin. What's up? Tyler, AJ, much love to you guys. AJ, congrats to you. Praying you get elected. If South Florida doesn't get the Group of Five playoff bid, who gets it? I think it's whoever wins the American. I don't necessarily think it has to be South Florida, but it's in their conference. I don't think it gets out of the American. You got any other view on that?
No, and I appreciate it, Austin. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping for South Florida. I like their coach.
I'm hoping for Tulane, man. Let's go. Let's go,
Oh
John
yeah,
Summerall.
yeah, yeah, John.
I'm
Forgot about
on the
Tulane.
Tulane train. But Navy's undefeated. You got North Texas. You got South Florida. You got Memphis. Uh, so it's
Yeah, well,
Navy,
North
Tulane, South
Texas and
Florida,
Memphis.
Memphis.
That
They're all kind of like one loss. I think whoever comes out of that league is probably going to end up. You got Boise out there, but they've lost two. They lost
yeah.
to South Florida and they lost to Notre Dame, but that's probably where it's going to come from. All right. Gonna get into this. I don't know why I'm getting into this. I think I told you why because I was checking Twitter. I told AJ earlier today I was checking Twitter to make sure I had the spelling of Tony Vitello right on my deal over here, and I realized that Cole Catalano, our social media guy, had posted a clip from Monday's show on Twitter that he'd already posted on Instagram and TikTok, I guess 2 days ago, and Florida fan is really mad at you right now, AJ. Um, Ole Miss fans like you again. They're your friends again. I don't know. I think you've made them mad at least once this year, but they're back. They're friends with you again.
Yeah, but I only made them mad off of saying there's going to be a QB controversy, and
Yeah,
who was right.
yeah. I mean,
And then they came around and were like, "Oh, okay,
okay, oh,
he's
yeah,
right."
yeah, okay, yeah. All right. That's usually how it works. They just
Yeah.
don't. Some of the OGs, some of the old gray hairs. They I don't think there's anything I can ever do to get back on their graces. So I don't care anymore. A lot of the people with common sense, they got it figured out. But anyway, it's just been a really I guess this is the best way I'll do this. It's been a crazy week with the coaching firings and hirings and job openings. The fans are ridiculously emotional. Is probably the best way to put it. I mean, dude, and we're in October. Like today is October the 23rd. Um, and it's like, I mean, AJ said Florida. AJ said Florida was not a good job. He said it wasn't as good. And then this Ole Miss fan is like, oh, I mean, like it's getting crazy to me. Like I feel like I'm like old man yelling at a cloud here. I saw and it came across my timeline. We follow each other on Twitter still, but Lane tweeted this morning. And out of just curiosity, I hit the look at the comments, and AJ was like this, Florida fan. Oh, Lane, please come to Florida. Go Gators. You're gonna love it in Florida. And then you got Ole Miss fan in there going, Lane, don't leave me. Don't leave us. We're the best ever for you. You love us. It's asinine to me. And it's like, what do y'all think? Like, I was literally just like curious. Do you think like if Lane takes the Florida job and he comes out there and he goes through his speech and he goes, you know what? I was really considering staying at Ole Miss until Billy Bob Gator 2340 on Twitter said, please come to Florida. And that changed my mind. That's what it did it for me. Or he sits there and or he re-signs with Ole Miss and he goes, Lane, what was really, your deciding factor? He goes, you know what? I was really considered leaving going to Florida, but it was Rebel Thong Wearer 2614 that pushed it over the top. And he said, don't I want to be I should be a rebel forever. You know what I mean? It's like, what do we think's going on here? It's so creepy to me. It's kind of like when the recruits say something and these people go in with the recruits. It's that level of cringe to me. It's like, what are we doing? Like, touch fucking grass, man. I mean, am I crazy on this?
No,
I mean,
I mean, it's
I know
funny
you got to be
that
politically correct because now you're going to be running for office and shit. But like, am I the asshole here?
No, I mean, I mean, but at the same time, it's what makes the SEC so special is like the how passionate the fans are, and how great they think, like no matter what, how great they think their university is. But I still stand by what we said. I still think Ole Miss is a better job. I mean, in
Like,
all in all, I think Ole Miss is a better job.
all right. So here's the thing: is like I'm going to say this out of the most unbiased way I can say it. Okay. And for those that don't know, we probably got some Florida fans because that are tuning in because they're mad at you right now. Um, like I have been criticized for carrying the freaking Gator chomp since my guy Billy's been there. All of y'all have worn me out. The whole world has worn me out because there has not been a single supporter of the Florida Gators more than me because Billy's my guy. I love Billy. Okay. I got friends there. I have been pulling for the Florida Gators. Okay. And to do like a little refresher course for everybody here, Ole Miss fired me. Okay. So I have been supporting Florida. Ole Miss fired me. In no shape, this is the most unbiased opinion I can give you. In no shape, form, or fashion is the University of Florida football program or job better than the Ole Miss job. I did not say that, but when you say that, I mean, he told me we suck. No, I just said
We're
it's
not
not
saying it's a
better.
bad job.
I didn't say it was a bad job. It's just
No,
not better. 5 years
yeah.
ago, absolutely. Absolutely. 5 years ago, 100%. And you could not get a single person from a coaching standpoint to go, yeah, absolutely. I mean, 100%. You would have asked 100 coaches, 98 of them would have said Florida's a better job. The other two probably graduated from Ole Miss. That's the truth 5 years ago. But guess what? It's not 5 years ago. And give credit to the Grove Collective, give credit to Keith Carter, give credit to Glenn Boyce. They have 100% given everything that you possibly need to be successful there. Hell, hand raised guy. Wish we had that kind. I mean, I've been there twice. It'd been nice to have that kind of sport, but it is what it is. We had different people in charge, but there is no way in today's world. There's no way that you can logically and look and they don't understand it. Again, they don't want to change their narrative. And I'm not saying it's a bad job, but in no form or fashion, everybody wants to talk about recruiting. And I will just say this go look at the 2026 class and go look at in state recruiting in every state. It's not about that anymore. You have to understand how things work. Like people just refuse to change narratives. Now, what I say and what you say, and this is where Neal's 100% right in what he says, what we say doesn't matter. The only person that it matters to is Lane. Okay, so he'll have to make that decision, and whatever it is whatever it is. But I'm tired of like we're a better job. We're like having a big who's got the biggest dick contest with these fan bases, and it's freaking ridiculous. But you can't honestly look at it and say that this job's better than this job and all that stuff. They're both SEC jobs. They'll both be committed to winning. And it's at the end of the day, it's going to come down to one person and one person only. Does Lane feel like if whatever's important to him is does he want to do that one or do this one or that one? And here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. I got news flash for everybody. There's not a coach in America that's right now going, I wonder, should I take that Florida job or should I take this job? No, you're so consumed with what's going on that you don't have time to do that.
Hmm.
You don't have time to do it. And people don't realize that. Now, you get like middle of November and a bye week late in the season. Okay, you start thinking because it starts coming to an end, but you just don't look at those things. It's hard to explain. People won't believe you when you say that. But That's why you have agents. They deal with all that shit. And then, like we talked about on Monday, then you'll come in and you'll be like, hey, whenever that conversation happens in late November, what's available? What do I need to do? What do I need to think about? All that stuff. But that's what it is. And then, like, I'm going to say this too, and I'll say this for Ole Miss fans. I do not buy, because I've been asked this 18 times in town the last couple of days. I do not buy into the narrative that if you lose on Saturday, it's not because of what's going on Twitter or a message board or anything like that. If you lose, you lose. There's never a time in a game when a player or coach gets it's 3rd and 4 and he can't think of what to call because he's worried about what was on Twitter this week. That's
Yeah.
not how it works. Like people don't think about like AJ, did you ever drop back to pass and go, oh shit, Coach Saban's going to Texas?
Mm-mm.
Did you ever think about
No.
that?
No.
It didn't. Are
Mm-mm.
you talking about Are you talking about when you got in the huddle on 3rd and 4? You didn't go in against Auburn. You didn't think you didn't wasn't worried about if Coach Saban was going to Texas or not.
No. I was wondering if they were playing man or zone and what type of zone and what pressure and
Like
everything else.
it's really silly, And so for me, it's like what's going to happen is going to happen. You fretting about it, whatever fan base. If you're a Florida fan, if you're an Ole Miss fan, or whoever, a Penn State fan, a Nebraska fan, the fretting over it is not going to change what's going to happen. So you might as well just sit back and enjoy the ride. Don't let your emotions ruin the last month of college football season for you. All right,
Yep.
all right. Let's move on. Let's talk about these SEC games this week. So we didn't really do a preview on Monday. I don't remember what sidetracked us, but I'm sure something did. Let's get your thoughts, and we can get a little schemy here too, if you want to. Ole Miss. Well, I'm just going in TV time that they're playing here. Ole Miss opens up 11 a.m. Against Oklahoma. Ole Miss on the road in Oklahoma. What's your gut? What are you thinking?
Yeah. Man, if it was before Mateer got hurt, I liked Oklahoma a lot. I think even though Ole Miss lost the Georgia game, I think it did a lot for their confidence. To be honest with you,
Offensively.
yeah. I mean, defensively,
Mm,
yeah,
mm,
some struggles, but
mm, mm.
still, I think they know that they can compete against the bet. Like I feel like that's been their hurdle over the last couple years, to where when they played a juggernaut, a so-called juggernaut, it's like it's probably some doubt. And I think the fact that they went into Athens and competed and I mean should have had the game won. Um, I mean, I think it does a lot for him. Be honest with you, and I like Ole Miss
Mm.
in this one. And hell, I mean, early in the year, I picked Oklahoma when they were on a roll and before Mateer got hurt. I liked Oklahoma a lot to be a surprise in Atlanta late in the year, but I'm gonna ride with Ole Miss on this one.
I am going to ride with Oklahoma on this one. I think Oklahoma pulls this one out. I think it's not slam dunk. I'm not like 100% confident in it. I definitely think it's in the margin of error. Um, Ole Miss. The interesting thing here is like if you told me it was beautiful day, dry, and all that stuff, I think Ole Miss needs to score 28 to win. Like that would be kind of the number I was looking for to do that. I'm interested to see a couple things here. I'm interested to see how the offensive line holds up versus protection against
Yeah,
Oklahoma. They can get to the quarterback. And then Trinidad Chandler starting. I thought he did a good job last week. One of the touchdowns, or the first touch. I don't know if it was the first touchdown of the game or second one. We got 800 Ole Miss fans in here, so I'm sure they can remind me. But they had a Georgia had a blind blitzer on his back that he should have been sacked. He got out of it and scored. Hit the pylon and scored. Uh, he's going to have to do some things like that with his legs. I think Venables is one of the best at creating pressure in passing situations. So for Ole Miss to win, I think he's going to have to extend some drives with his legs and escape pressure. I think that's going to be a big thing. If everything's pretty and a beautiful day outside, which I don't think it is, by the way, um, I think like 28 is kind of the number. Oklahoma offensively has this is where it's interesting. Oklahoma has really struggled this year in just a regular running game, right? They have found some things in the +1 running game with a quarterback, And then last week, and it's not like they went out and ran for 700 yards against South Carolina, but they did look more together a little bit in the running game last week against South Carolina. And then you look at Ole Miss. Ole Miss really struggled stopping anything on defense last week, and it was coverage stuff. Communication was bad on the back end. Um, they got matched up really, and I think Pete started doing like a little bit of a Rolodex, going a little bit of everything, and then you had matchup issues and all that. I don't think that Oklahoma can create the matchup issues that Georgia was able to, particularly in the tight end spot. But I do think that, and then Oklahoma has never been really super explosive on offense anyway in this league, regardless of how it looks. I think 28 gets it done for Ole Miss. And then to your point with Mateer, like, he's come back. He's played 2 games now since he came back from the injury. Obviously, he wasn't 100% healthy in the first one. Interesting thing for me here. I was going to get your take on this. You want to remind everybody what your thumb looks like? All right. So let me ask you a question. And this is the interesting thing for me. I already know the answer, but the fans don't know. If it's rain, wet ball with a surgical, like a thumb that's not 100% healthy with grip strength, how's that going to affect him throwing the ball?
I mean, it could definitely affect. I mean, my biggest issue having big hands. I think it's harder because for a guy with bigger hands, I mean, it's easier but hard at the same time. Like, because I held everything with my fingertips, and so there was more pressure, and then now you got to palm it more in the rain. So it was always a little tough and different. But yeah, I mean, listen, throwing a wet ball is never fun. I don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah, and
practice game, I hate it.
there's going to be 2 SEC games in the rain, and I would like to, and just in case it happens, Cole can clip this, and this is Thursday, October 23rd. I would also like, as a receivers guy, I would like to remind all the receivers out there that wearing gloves in the rain does nothing but hurt you. Please learn how to catch the ball with your hands and put the gloves away. I sit there. I mean, it drives me nuts to see receivers wearing and driving rainstorms wearing gloves and just watch the balls just freaking like you can't catch them. Um,
Or go get you some all leather gloves.
yeah, they
It's
they
about the
make
only
so like
gloves I
there's
like.
there's allegedly new technology and all this stuff in gloves, and it's like every year somebody tries to come out with a new rain glove or whatever it is. Shit never works. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't work. It's just what it is. But um, I think if it's the interesting thing here is like, okay, you want to. I think the better it is for Ole Miss. I do think Ole Miss needs to have the threat of the passing game to help the running game. I don't think Ole Miss is where they can just line up and run it at
Run
Oklahoma.
it. Yeah.
And so that's where I'm kind of the weather's going to be interesting play on this game for me. I think it's going to affect it one way or the other. I think a better weather day helps Ole Miss, but we'll see. I mean, it's both teams got to play in it. I think it will be a factor one way or another in this game. All right, we got Auburn. The fighting. These are now your constituents, AJ. So make sure you tread lightly with these comments, okay? You got the Auburn Tigers traveling to Fayetteville to take on the Arkansas Razorbacks. All
I
right,
got them winning.
which one?
Auburn.
Of course you do. Are you picking all? We have to have a serious question here. So for the rest of the year, just for the record, are you picking Auburn and Alabama to win every game? Is that what we're doing?
Possibly.
Possibly. Okay, I
Possibly.
was just checking. I was just
No,
checking.
I mean, look, I said it earlier in the week before the announcement came out today. That
But you
I,
are.
that I thought they would
You
win.
just
I
figured out.
mean,
You just figured out between Tuesday and today that you were going to run.
no.
Go
Not
ahead.
for a while, but no, I mean, listen. I'm even though, like I said, even though I gave you some shit earlier before the season started from a recruiting side of things, or talking about recruiting, but um hell, I'm pulling for him because you can tell he's trying. I mean, and it sucks. And like I said, their losses they've had has been a total of like 29 points. 10, I think, is the highest. It's like 6, 6, 7, and 10 is what they've lost by. Um, I mean, I just the one thing that hurts him is the fact that he's a QB guru, guy, listed coach, and it just that position hasn't worked out for him since he's been there. And I don't know if he makes that switch and goes to the backup this week or not, but um, I mean, the biggest thing, I think the best thing Arkansas has is their offense being able to put up points. Their defense is weak. I think Auburn's offense is weak from a throwing standpoint, but they got two great receivers. Yeah, three. But I mean, Cam is. I think Cam's special. But so I think it allows them to be in the game and actually put up some points. And I like their defense. Their Auburn's defense plays tough. So
Yeah, very interesting game for me. I don't like the matchup for Auburn here. And I've said this. People laugh at me when I tell people this, but going to Fayetteville and going to Missouri are two of the weirdest tough trips. Like it's a tough place to play.
yeah,
And for whatever reason, I think the year after you left, we went up there. Much better team. And if it wasn't for Landon Collins falling off his zone and picking a ball, like vacating his zone to make a play because we busted a coverage, we'd have gotten beaten and been out of the playoffs. But I think it's a tough matchup for Auburn. I think that one thing that the only time that Arkansas has struggled at all on offense this year was against Notre Dame, and that was that whole team looked like they were uninvested, and then that's when Sam Pittman got fired. After that, before and after that, they've played. Didn't matter who they played. They put 42 points on the board at home against Texas A&M last week, which says something. I think they were 6 of 11 on third down when Texas A&M had been really good on third down coming in the game. I think offensively now Taylor Green's banged up. Okay, he struggled to finish the game last week, but he's banged up. I think that I think DJ Durkin's defense will be there. I think they can contain them. And then you look on the other side of the ball. Like, okay, so basically you got a really good offense going against a good defense, and you got a bad offense going against a bad defense. Something has to give, right? Um,
yeah,
and so for me, it turns into like, okay, can Auburn score enough to keep up with Arkansas? So something's got to give there. Um, you know, Captain Obvious here. I think Freeze has reached his 7-day contract status. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's this week, if it's next week, if it's whenever it comes again. He has reached a in my opinion. I think it's reached a fever pitch with that fan base and all the social media heroes out there that whenever he loses again, it's just the heat. It's just so it's obviously a very important game for that. And Auburn, somebody was asking about Auburn the other day. It's like it's been different every week, right? I mean, like, you go back to the Oklahoma game, when they lose by 6 on the road, it was officials and it was missing overthrowing and missing wide open receivers for touchdowns, and then all the sacks because he held on to the ball too long. Then they go to Texas A&M and lose in a one-score game, and it was because of him getting sacked, but this time it was because they were in third and freaking 10 plus the entire game, like 10 of their third downs. You go to the Georgia game, then you can say valid things. The Georgia game was soon as that touchdown, the quarterback sneak that he fumbled on, that they could have gone up 17-0, and they didn't, and they ruled it a fumble. They just played an entire game with no composure. Like they had no composure as a team. They had a 10-point lead, and watching them, it felt like they were down by 30. Like they had no composure as a team from that point on. And then last week was like drop touchdown, missed field goals. I mean, they just didn't make the plays to win the game in regulation. They didn't even have to go to overtime. So it's been a variety of things, but they're not as far off. It's like it depends on how you want to look at it. But the way fans look at it, and is why he's in the situation he's in right now, is if you lose a game in today's world, if you lose a game 27-26, in a fan's mind, you lost it 200-0. And if
yeah,
you win the game 27-26, in a fan's mind, they won it 200-0. No, so there's no like dissecting of what happened. So right, wrong, or indifferent. I think that's where he's at. And then on the other side, you got Petrino right now, who is they're playing hard, man. They haven't
Yeah,
won. They
they
haven't
are.
won the games. But the one interesting thing for me is like how you know they're playing hard is both games that they've played against Tennessee and Texas A&M. They were down multiple scores in the fourth quarter and they came back instead of quitting. And
Yeah.
so that says a lot. He's got them playing hard. So this is an interesting game for me. I'm not touching it from a gambling perspective, but a very interesting game for me.
Did Auburn's AD come out and support Hugh
I have
or
no
no?
idea. I have no idea. I have
I,
no
I,
idea.
I was just wondering after that interview.
I have no idea.
And
Like,
then what about that damn the SEC suspending
all right,
indefinitely
I had that
the
written. Yeah, I
head?
had that written down. I skipped it a minute ago. Ken Williamson.
Yeah.
So I have to give Facebook the win here. So Facebook is now 1% at breaking news. When this came out yesterday, I was like, no bullshit. I was like, no way. I saw it. Somebody told me, and I googled it, and it was like, was it Yellowhammer News or whoever? Hey, but that's two they've gotten right because about a month ago they said this guy named AJ McCarron was going to run for political office. I don't know how they got their hands on that. But
I
that's
do.
you do okay. You figured that one out.
Yeah.
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 So I knew I was going to get asked about it today. And so I made some phone calls, and it is accurate. So the words I was told was that last week he was quietly suspended. Was the words I got today for last week. I think he was supposed to call the Arkansas Texas A&M game last week, and he did not.
Mm.
But that it was accurate, and that he would no longer be doing it. So shout out to Facebook, and that's two. Y'all are like two for 175,000. So that gets them up to like. So they got me on that one. It's just hard to believe anything you hear from some of these people, but that is accurate. It did happen. So I'll say this. I don't know. I say I don't know him. I don't know him personally. I know him from a coach's officials know him.
Yeah.
I go back all the way to the Sun Belt with this guy. Um, I've said it on the post game show. I think I was asked about it maybe last year. Anytime I see this guy in a game, you just like, oh shit, here we go. Like it
Yeah.
was always trying to think the best way to put this, AJ. Every time that he was the white hat, I felt like they were going to make the game about them.
Oh, 100%. He had his hands on every game.
That's just how, as a coach, that's how I felt. And somebody's like, well,
Yep.
who's the best white hat, or who's the best crew? I said the crew that lets you play. Like
Yep.
I don't know where we've gotten the whole SEC, like not all of them, but there's several crews in the SEC that are bad, and it's changed so much because football used to be like, okay, if you're holding at the point of attack, okay, if it affects the play, throw the flag. I'm 100% down with that. But like I'm watching a game last night. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Western Kentucky or whoever somebody's playing the other night. It was La Tech and somebody. It was La Tech and who the hell they were playing? Western Kentucky. Who they were playing? But
Yeah.
they run a punt return back, and they call a like a legal block in the back that was like 40 yards away from the play. You know what I mean? Like they used to let you play. If you want to
Right.
call something on every play, you know this. You can call it on
Yep.
every play. But it's like I don't like the holding on the Z when you're throwing it to the X. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I don't. It's never been called that way. Coaches know that. Most fans know that, and we've gotten to a point to where we're calling like, all right, we're running outside zone to the right, and we're calling the left tackle for a questionable hold 15 yards behind where the action is. Like I just
Yep.
I don't I'm not down with that. So it seemed like to me every time that he was in a game, two things were going to happen. Okay. Just my opinion. When you see him in a game, two things are going to happen. One is they're going to make the game about them. And two, if there was a call in the field, very, 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 very rarely was it overturned.
Yep.
That was just, I don't know that I'm sure you can go look stats up on the guy, but that's just how I felt as a coach. So I'm sure he's a nice guy, but my dealings with him, I did not Like it. All right. The Alabama, now these are your constituents now. The Alabama Crimson Tide traveling to Columbia, South Carolina to take on the South Carolina Gamecocks. Talk to me.
I mean, what's the spread on this game? 13 and a half?
11 and a half, I think. 11 and a half or 12, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I like it. I think listen, it's a tough place to play. But I think if Kane can get this defense to where you don't allow Lenoir's to, um, extend plays or have explosive plays with his legs and make him beat you throwing the ball, I think everything plays into Alabama's favor, and from that standpoint. And the biggest thing on offense is, starting fast, staying ahead of the sticks, and then not beating yourselves. You can't have false starts. You can't have holdings. You can't have turnovers. If you do that, I mean, you should be successful. You should come out with I think, a double-digit point win, and I like them. I like them to cover for sure.
I do too. I just think from a offensive standpoint, I think they struggle up front. South Carolina does.
Yeah.
I don't think Alabama's world beaters up front. I think they kind of gap sound, but I just think defensively, I think Kane has enough in his defensive package to confuse Lenore Sellers, mixing up the coverages, mixing up the looks. He'll probably throw him one. But he's been playing better, but it's like Lenore Sellers versus the world. I don't think from a skill guy standpoint, South Carolina's really got any advantage. The Harbor kid is a freak of nature, but
Yeah.
he's a straight line runner. He's not great in and out of his breaks. It's jump ball or nothing, or give him if he get him going, with crossers and you get him some room to run. But I think from a matchup standpoint, I think they'll be fine there. Alabama will. I'm talking about, and then I think Alabama's got enough offensively in the game plan and personnel wise to stay ahead of the chains. And again, the thing with me with Alabama is, again, I understand why they have to run the perimeter to set up other things, but I would stick on P and 10 downs, man. I would stick with direct runs and stay ahead of the chains. I would stay out of the
Mhm.
outside zone world on 1st and 10 and just stay ahead of the chains, particularly on the road. If you're at home, I think it's a little bit different from a game plan standpoint, but on the road, staying with the direct runs on 1st and 10 in the running game and staying away from perimeter run game early and downs, just so you avoid those third downs and don't let the crowd become a factor, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You got to be able to start fast and not hurt yourself, because that place gets loud. It's a cool atmosphere to play in. And I think, like you said, I think with Alabama having as many weapons, I mean, I personally think they have the best receiving core in the country from, top to bottom.
Yeah, and South Carolina's got their own stuff going on with coaches and all this stuff. I mean,
Hmm.
they had students marching to Fire Shula the other day, and it's bizarre. And Beamer was getting chippy with the media the other day, and Um, you know, things could get weird there. All right, Missouri at Vandy. Game day will be there. Missouri at Vandy. Who you like? I'm interested in your take here. Who you like?
I like Vandy. I'm going Pavia, and um, I think Vandy keeps winning and has a chance to make the playoffs.
Uh,
I think it
I'm
would be awesome to see.
I'm also rolling with Vandy here. I think when you look at Missouri, I think one thing you saw a little bit with the Auburn game last week. I think one thing that Missouri is really good at is their edge pressure and things like that. I think the running game from Vanderbilt. I will say this: I don't know. I think they'll have a different game plan of what they did against Alabama when they came out trying to throw the ball a lot. I think if they
Yeah.
stick with the game plan and kind of neutralize the defensive ends for Missouri, I think they can control that. And then, on the flip side, I think it's imperative. I think it's imperative if Missouri to win this game, they have to get Hardy really going in this game. He's got to get going. You can't allow them to shut him down at all. Like he's got to get going for them to win. All right, the Texas
What
Longhorns.
was before you? Hmm.
What you got?
I mean, just all the Missouri fans that were just pissed at me, and just
Oh,
So
Cole,
mad at me for saying they were one-dimensional. Ever since I said it, seems like been pretty one-dimensional. 23 or 40, 252, 2 interceptions.
mm,
I'm just saying. You can get mad. Sometimes the truth hurts.
you're not running for office in Missouri, right?
No, no, no,
Okay,
no, no.
I was just checking.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I was just checking. All right, I'm sure Cole won't clip that. Um, Texas at Mississippi State. You got the Longhorns going to start Vegas. What you got?
Let's go Bulldogs.
Mm.
I want Levy and Mississippi State to win this thing. I'm proud of Levy and how hard he gets this team to play. Um, and said it was awesome meeting a lot of Ole Miss fans and actually Mississippi State fans down at Dega. Um, and they talked about how much they watched the podcast and everything, but
Those are our
um,
people.
yeah, I'm rooting for Mississippi State. I hope they get this big time win. I think it'd be awesome to see.
It just feels like a vibe, right? Like I
Yeah.
feel like it just feels like like you get this gut feeling. I think Mississippi State's winning this game. I think Mississippi State is winning this game. I do. I do. I think
I
they're
like
winning the
it.
game. It's just a gut feeling. Like it's like they've been so close. Like my man Shapen strokes the 93, drops out underneath the simulated pressure, and they're literally a defensive lineman interception away from winning on the road against Florida last week. Like they're close. They're playing hard, and like they're going to score enough to. I think just they have shown that they can score and move the ball and have explosive plays against good defenses. And look, Texas is just anemic on offense, man. 2 back-to-back road
Yeah,
games.
man.
They only scored 13 in regulation against Kentucky last week. I think Mississippi State they're playing hard on defense. I think at home, like they thought they had a difficult time playing in Kroger Field last week. Davis Wade will be rocking with cowbells. Like if the
Hmm.
Mississippi State fan base, which I think they will, shows up and is rowdy, Texas wins this game. Texas loses this game to Mississippi State. I think it happens.
Dude, I hope so. I hope Levy
I
gets
think it
this
does.
win.
It's just a gut
Um,
feeling.
that'd be freaking awesome.
So,
Let's talk about the play calling though. Mississippi State, why are you throwing it in that
so they
situation?
had so it was 21 seconds left to go on the clock, and they tried to throw. They had no timeouts, and they were trying to throw an inside hitch. They had outside leverage with a nickel. He was trying to throw a quick inside hitch, get the first down, and they were going to probably go up there and spike it and kick the field goal. And got deked. Outside leverage. You got to know as a quarterback, you got outside leverage. You're not just going to give you a free release. Somebody's coming out from underneath, and I just think he got deked. I don't mind the I don't mind the call because I don't think they could have ran it right there. Because as a coach, okay, you got 21 seconds on the play
Yeah,
clock,
but
right?
21 seconds, you
I know. Hear
21
me out.
seconds you got time because we used
Here,
to run it to 18.
hear me out. 18 is the number, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the play is going to take 4 to 5 seconds. Okay, so you're already at 17 or 18 when the whistle blows. If you throw the hitch and you have to get up off of that, it's 1 or 2 people. If you run the ball, then you got a crowd of people. And then some of those guys are going to be on PAT field goals. Some of those offensive linemen are not. You're going to have big boys coming. I understand it from a coaching standpoint of why to do it. It just if he doesn't hit the guy doesn't drop out underneath it and he throws interception, we're having a different conversation today, right? Like I think if he completes the pass, nobody's questioning it.
Or
Um,
let's just run the clock down and spike it.
oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. You could have taken a knee.
I don't like throwing any passes that have even a chance of getting tipped. Like make it an outside out route to where he throws it and it's either caught toe tapping going out or it hits the mascot over there.
I think it probably was. I think it was checked because he had outside leverage. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like he was.
yeah,
I get it. I'm with you, dog. I think Ron Roberts was a great call with him too, right? So I mean, he dropped the guy up underneath it. It's eerily similar to what happened with Auburn, Oklahoma last year.
yeah.
When Peyton Thorne got deked with outside leverage, but it was
Yeah.
just a D lineman instead of a linebacker. But it is what it is. I think they get it this weekend. All right, Texas A&M going to Baton Rouge. Who you got?
Dude, I mean, I want LSU to win just because of Nuss, and his family.
Mm.
I think it's A&M though. Um,
I
and I think the chance of an article start popping out about BK being fired.
ooh, I will say this. I think the temperature will be hot. I do not disagree with you. I mean the LSU fan base is just waiting on a moment like this to get crazy. Um,
What
First of
time is
all,
that
I'm
game?
unpopular. It's a night game, I think. Yeah, it's a night game.
Oh, dude, if they lose this game, you want to talk about chaos.
But hear me out. This is the unpopular take. I'm a BK fan. I think he's a hell of a coach. And I don't mind standing on that table. I don't care what people think. I like Brian Kelly. The guy literally has won at every level from D2 to Group of Five he's won everywhere he's been. Um, Again, we've reached a world where there's one happy fan base at the end of every year, right? And there's
Yeah.
133, so that's just where we're at. Whatever. I like Brian Kelly, and that's fine. If people disagree with me, they think I'm correct. Whatever. I like Brian Kelly. I think he's a hell of a coach. Now, is that going to stop people from getting crazy on social media and media people going crazy? No, it's going to happen. That's what you sign. I mean, kind of know what's going to happen. I will say this. I don't think. I will say this. I think if Brian, hear me, you can read between the lines on this if you would like to. I am of the opinion. It's of Tyler Siskey's opinion that if Brian Kelly wants to be the head coach at LSU next year, he'll be the head coach at LSU next year. That's my opinion.
Yeah, they can't fire him because they don't have the money.
It's real money. It's somebody has to write the check. I
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
see LSU writing a $50+ million check
no, they
for
they
that to
don't
take
have the
place.
funds. They don't have the funds. I mean,
I personally
I've
don't
heard
see
that
that.
from
Now, if
yeah.
Brian Kelly wakes up one day and decides he doesn't want to be the coach at LSU anymore and he wants to go coach somewhere else, that's his prerogative. But it is of my opinion that if Brian Kelly wants to be the head coach at LSU next season, he will be.
I've heard from a couple people that they want him to take another job so they don't have to uh because
And
they can't do
I'll,
that
I'll say
buyout.
this, and this is not Brian Kelly, but I'll say this about any candidate. There have been situations, this is not unusual. So when you fire a coach, the buyout is massive, right? But if a coach leaves on his own, they're much lower, right? Somewhere between a couple million and 10 million. Okay. If you get a brand new coach, maybe I think Signetti's is a little higher now, whatever, right? Depends on where it is. It's not unheard of to if there's like a mutual agreement kind of deal that a school would like say, hey, you can go there and we'll waive the buyout for you. We won't take money from them as you leaving, right? That's not unheard of. That has happened before. And so I think you may see some of that. There's a couple of opportunities maybe for that to happen where this school, like that's where Penn State screwed it up. That's why you don't fire a coach, and that's why you don't. If you wanted to really move on from James Franklin, they could have held on to him to the end of the year, and he could have picked any job he wanted to, and they would have waived the buyout. They'd have saved themselves
Mhm.
$50 million, but whatever.
Mhm.
They that's where they messed that up. They haven't hired. They haven't done many coaching searches in their tenure to understand that. But whatever. All right, I think Texas A&M gets this one. I think the thing with me here is I get the night game in Baton Rouge. That's how they win, right? It's they just they get they become too emotional and it's too much to take over. That's how they win. But just from a football standpoint, I think LSU has lived in third and long so long, and this is not the team to screw around with on third down. They are the best third down team I think in the country on defense. Talking about Texas A&M, and I think LSU's been they've played better on third downs, but still, I think that's their Achilles heel is getting on third and longs and not executing on third down. I think that's what the difference in this game is. I like Texas A&M.
And I'm not saying BK's a bad coach. I just don't think he was the right fit for that place.
Yeah, and
is all
I'll
I'm
say this.
saying.
All right, I'll say this about Fit too. All right, and you know where I'm going with this. I've told you this before. Like I think Fit is it's ammunition, right? So Kalen DeBoer, okay, when they lost to Florida State, okay, you're an Alabama guy. When they lost to Florida State, how many comments did you hear about Fit at Alabama? He can't recruit here. He's from the West. He's this. He's not a Southern guy. You heard it everywhere, right?
No, 100%.
Hadn't heard
100%.
shit in the last 6 weeks about Fit. Hadn't heard the first word about Fit. When you lose
I
games, when you lose games, okay, it's Fit. It's you hear the family stuff. It's Fit. No, it's not. It's just it's a reason. It's something. It's like when Hugh's winning, you don't hear about his damn golf game. But when things aren't going good, it's all he plays too much golf. He played too much golf. Hell, if he wouldn't be turning in them game scores all the time, we'd be getting the recruits. You know, and then it's LSU when you lose to Vanderbilt and you lose to Ole Miss. He was never a Fit here, but if his ass goes and beats Texas A&M, I bet you don't hear the first word about Fit if they win this weekend. You won't hear the first word about it.
I'm
So
I'm with you 100%. I'm just saying, Kalen DeBoer didn't open up his press conference with a fake accent, like he was all of a
AJ,
sudden from the South and had a Cajun
again, it's
accent.
just
Like,
ammunition.
that just confused me.
It's just ammunition, right? It's just
Yeah.
ammunition for when things don't go well. It's what it is. Does it affect him winning or losing games? I don't think it does at all. I think football is football, whether you play it in Louisiana or you play it in Anchorage, Alaska. I think coaches is coaches. I don't. I think the Fit stuff. It's like when people talk about, oh, he can't recruit here. Why does it? If he can't recruit, it's because his pocketbook's not filled with enough money from the collective or whatever in the NIL era or rev share in today's world. That's why they can't recruit. And so, hey, I mean, I'll read you one right here. I got a text message today from a coach from from uh, a Big Ten coach today, and he was commenting. He was commenting on like coaching searches and stuff. And this is what he
Mhm.
said to me. He goes, what are all these fans upset about? He goes, isn't it about money for all the head coaches? He goes, I'm not talking about money in the contract. I'm talking about rev share money and what can they do to cheat the cap. That's what it's about. So why are we having these fake conversations? It's what anyway. All right, last
Yeah.
one. We got to get to picks. Tennessee at Kentucky.
Tennessee
I agree
all day
there.
long.
Um, I think again, this could get weird with Stoops and like I think there's a lot of coaches in this league. I think there's a lot of coaches around the country that it's going to turn into what we just talked about, whether it's do we have the money or not. I think there's going to be a lot of those conversations going on. And what sucks about it though is and Neal's got a point when he says this. Here's what sucks about it. There's going to be a lot of coaches that are in do we have the money for the buyout or not? And you've already cut their nuts. When the fan apathy sets in, you've already cut their nuts. You've given them no chance to survive because you've already publicly cut their nuts. So that's just where we're at with a lot of these programs. All right. Before we continue, AJ, before we continue, can I tell you about something? I want to tell you about, I'm very excited to tell you about this actually. I want to tell you about Prime. That's right, Get Prime. That's
Mm.
GetPrime.com. If you're serious about your health and you don't have time for doctor visits or confusing lab reports, listen up. Prime is a modern at home lab testing kit that puts you in control, and you can order your kit at getprime.com. And I'm excited to talk about this today because yesterday, AJ, I did check this out. Real talk. I'm a living, breathing person here. I did my test yesterday. So they sent me my test kit from getprime.com.
Mhm.
All right. I read they have a video on there. When you register your kit, it tells you all the instructions. You get on there and it says, it's literally because it's in the deal. It says no needles, no waiting rooms, no hassle. I put this Get Prime kit on my shoulder right here. Okay. And it tells you to press the button. I know that there's got to be needles in this thing because they're getting it fills up a little bit blood tube like that right there. And I'm going, yeah, I'm fisting to get stuck or whatever. I hit this button, AJ. I was concerned because it says wait for 2 minutes before blood. It could take up to 2 minutes for the blood to start to collect. I hit the button and I'm like, there's no way that they're getting blood out of this. I didn't feel anything. Like literally nothing. Zero pain. So I called my guy at Prime yesterday and I told him I was sending it off. And I was like, hey, real question. I was like, how are they getting the blood out of that? Because I know it didn't get stuck. He goes, well, it's just getting the surface. You don't feel it and all that stuff. 100% all in on getprime.com. So if you need your metabolism checked, your hormone energy levels checked, or your overall wellness, check this out too. I get the sample, okay? As soon as it gets done, it takes 5 minutes, AJ. I take the tube out, stick it, put it in a plastic thing. It comes in a box. I sealed it. I took it down. I dropped. I'm giving real results here. I took the test at my house at 10:45 a.m. I finished the test. I went to finish the test. I drove to Walmart here. They have a FedEx drop box at Walmart here. I dropped it off and I got my email today at 11:13 a.m. I got my lab results back in less than 24 hours of me dropping that box off.
Damn, that's pretty sweet.
How about that? Shout out to getprime.com. So go to
How about that?
How about that? Go to getprime.com and don't forget to enter the promo code MPW at checkout and you can get 20% off. Really, I highly recommend it and it's for men and women. You can go on getprime.com, pick out whatever kit you need to fit whatever you're looking to do. It's awesome. I'm a believer. I'm all in. All right, we're also brought to you by Thompson's. How about this, AJ? This is your boys. Thompson's Paint and Body Shop, located right there in the heart of Saraland, Alabama. Located at 703 Saraland Boulevard, just a few miles off of I-65 and Exit 13, Thompson's has served customers all over the Gulf Coast, from Biloxi to Pensacola, and from Gulf Shores to Demopolis. So if you're like my lovely wife, who may be listening right now because her flight's delayed, and you like to hit deer with your car, go check out Thompson's Paint and Body Shop. They're going to get you taken care of. They're a family-owned body shop. You get Don Jr. and Matthew Thompson. They're going to answer the phone call. They're going to take care of you and treat you like you should be treated. So if your ride needs some TLC, skip all the corporate machine stuff and go check out Thompson's Paint and Body Shop. You can check them out on Facebook at thompsonsbodyshop.com, or Thompson's on Facebook at Thompson's Paint and Body Shop, on the internet at thompsonsbodyshop.com, or give them a call at 251-675-0884. How about that?
How about that?
All right. You know what time it is? It's time for Make It Rain Thursday. All right. So AJ has a new little career he's going into. So he'll be reading Neal's picks. You got the text I sent you?
Yep.
All right. So AJ is not reading AJ's picks. For all you people out there trying to get AJ to slip up today so you can use it, you can't, because he is reading Neal McCready's picks, not his picks. How about that? All right. So start them off, AJ. Read off Neal's first pick of the week.
Yeah, he says UCLA. I guess he likes for UCLA to cover.
Yep. UCLA against Indiana.
Yeah.
Tell me the number.
25.5.
25.5. Good gracious. Now I got to call up this. I'm going to call it up too. 25.5. Is that right? Is that what I sent you?
Yeah. Plus
yep, 25.5 at Indiana. I'm not looking them up. So I had to go. We're doing it from when he did it. Indiana, he likes UCLA plus 25.5 at Indiana. I just want to go on record and saying that Neal McCready is breaking one of the golden rules of betting. I just want to go on the record and say that. I just want to go on record and make sure he knows that. One, you don't bet with your heart, but he's breaking rule number 2, which is, by God, you never bet against Curt Cignetti. You just don't do it. You don't play the game. You just don't. If you like UCLA, you just don't play the game. Just saying. All right, my first pick, AJ. I'm glad I got these in. My first one, I'm going to play the Ole Miss Oklahoma game. Ole Miss is traveling to. We broke the game down earlier. Ole Miss is going to Norman to play Oklahoma. The line's up to like 5.5 now. That's not where I'm going. Give me the under at 54.5. I like the under at 54.5. Ole Miss Oklahoma. I got it in. One, I think rain's going to be a factor in this game. Even if it's not, I like the under. I think Ole Miss has to get to 28 to win this game. And even if Ole Miss gets to 28, that would tell me that Oklahoma's not scoring enough. I just like the under, regardless of the outcome, who wins, who loses. I like the under in this game. I like the under at 54.5. All right, what's game number
Nice.
2?
He's got Cal plus 5.5 at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, this is one of those lines. Virginia Tech is obviously they have not won a Power Four game, or they have really
They've
struggled.
been brutal.
They've been brutal. Fired their coach. And here's the thing: I know why he's doing it. Cal has not played well away from home. Going to the right coast here, and Virginia Tech. This is one of those lines. It's one of those trappy lines. But I don't disagree with him. I kind of like almost took Cal as my money line, but I felt too trappy. So he's got Cal plus 5.5 at Virginia Tech. Excuse me. I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay right here with it. I'm gonna do a lot of SEC today. I'm just gonna roll these off and get go. Auburn is taking on the Arkansas Razorbacks. Arkansas is actually favored by like a point and a half, 2.5, depends on where you're looking at. If you're looking at betonline.ag, but I'm taking the under at 56.5. Again, weather involved in this game. Wind, supposed to be heavy winds. Nobody likes throwing the ball in the wind, AJ. Give me the Auburn, Arkansas under 56.5. I think Auburn, I think defense travels. I think that offense is going to struggle. I like the matchup. I think it's a lower scoring game than the experts thinks. Give me the Auburn, Arkansas under 56.5. All right, pick 3, AJ.
He's got Alabama to cover at 12.5 at South Carolina.
I'm going to help him out right here. It's actually 11.5 now. So I'm going to help him out now on that one because I saw that one. That is in my pool. I agree with him, but I'm not taking it as an official pick. But I do it because I'm going to try to mix them up a little bit. But it is one that I'm betting personally. I like the Alabama Crimson Tide also. That's a good pick for Neal right there. I think Alabama wins this game by 21 plus, AJ.
Damn.
Yeah, I think they win big. So I think that's a good pick by Neal. All right, I'm going to stay in the SEC. Talked about it a minute ago. Texas A&M traveling to Baton Rouge. Night game in Baton Rouge, AJ. Texas A&M is favored by 2.5. Okay, Texas A&M is favored by 2.5. They're 0-6 in Baton Rouge. Did you know that? 0-6. And it's a night game in Baton Rouge.
Game.
And they're 2.5-point favorites. Texas A&M is. And guess what, AJ? It's not enough. Give me the Texas A&M Aggies to cover minus 2.5 on the road. Because guess what? When you're 0-6 in Baton Rouge, guess what, AJ? Nobody gives a shit because none of those players are on the team anymore. Give me Texas A&M minus 2.5 on the road at LSU. I think third downs is the difference in this game. All right, pick
I like
4.
it.
Who you got?
He's got Vandy to cover versus Missouri at 2.5.
Vanderbilt minus 2.5 versus Missouri at home. I actually like that pick. I think I don't know if they cover by a lot, but I think Vanderbilt at least wins this game by a field goal. I think it's a tight game, but I don't dislike that pick at all. All right, AJ, my
I'm saying Vandy wins by 10.
Ooh-wee. AJ McCarron likes that too. I like it. All right, AJ. I'm going to stick with this. I think it's a friendly number, and I'm taking it. And the only reason I'm taking it here is because I've already seen Neal's money line. But I've talked about it all week. I can't do it. I think they win the game outright, but I'm taking Mississippi State plus 7.5 at home. You're giving me a touchdown and a hook at home. I'm taking it. I like Mississippi State plus 7.5 at home. Give me the Bulldogs on Saturday. I think
like
they win the game outright, but I like them at plus 7.5. All right, your 5th game, AJ. This is interesting.
He's got Washington at -4 to cover versus Illinois.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one. That's an interesting game for me, but I think he's following.
When the hell has Neal stayed up to watch any of those teams?
He will watch Illinois now because of Luke Altmaier. He will watch Illinois. He will watch Illinois. I bet you he hasn't watched Washington play 5 snaps though.
No.
He may have watched him a little
And
bit against Ohio State,
and
but he
I
has
hope he's
watched.
laughing as he's driving. Isn't he driving right now?
Yeah, yeah.
I
He's
saw
going,
that
"Nope,
and I
I
was
watched
like,
him."
yeah,
But here's the
what
thing: is
the hell?
last week he came in here. He's like, I literally saw him picking these deals because he was so busy last week. He was like picking them on the fly. He went down and damn two against the spread last week. I was like, I had a great week and lost 4 units to him. All right,
Ugh.
my fifth pick. All right, I'm gonna stick with the trend here. I like this one too. Tennessee is traveling to Lexington, Kentucky. They're 7.5 point favorites. And guess what, AJ? That's not where I'm going. Give me the Tennessee Kentucky under. I got 3 unders. Give me the Tennessee Kentucky under
Damn.
54.5. I don't think Kentucky can score. Kentucky hasn't scored more than 13 points in a game in the last 3 games. They sure as hell ain't running the football against Tennessee. Give me the Kentucky Tennessee under 54.5. All right, it's time
Mm.
for the money line time. It's when you pick an underdog, or Neal picks an underdog. And go ahead, tell him who he picked. No surprise
He
here.
took Mississippi State at plus 225 versus Texas.
I like the pick. I do. I hate to say it. It's going to get
I
me
do
on this
too.
one. I like the pick here. That was my favorite money line pick of the week as well. I'm not going it because I'm going to do it for the show. I'm not going to do that. Here's my money line pick for this week. I'm going to the American Conference. There is a really big game in the American Conference, and there's a really big game in the American Conference as it relates to the playoffs. The South Florida Bulls are traveling to Memphis, Tennessee,
Mm.
and they are favored on the road against Memphis, who just went to UAB and lost, and
You
everybody
got
saw
lost.
this, that, this, that. Give me the Memphis Tigers to upset South Florida at home at plus 175.
Ooh.
How about that? How about that?
I don't like it, but
Hey, weird shit happens in the Liberty Bowl. I hey, I've lost as a huge favorite there, and then I've won on a Hail Mary.
oh
Corey
wow.
Leonard to T. Higgins, the other T. Higgins, P.T. Higgins, prime time for a walk off at Arkansas State. 67-yard Hail Mary,
Mm.
no time on the clock. 2000 and something, can't remember. Early before I came to St. Paul's. All right. All right, NFL, the National Football League, your specialty, AJ.
Yeah, I like all of his picks. But he's
All right.
starting off with
Thanks. That makes me feel good.
yeah. He's starting off with the Chargers at minus 3.5 over the Vikings.
That is interesting. I see that. I'll leave it there. I'm not picking this game on the picks today, but I actually have already bet. I like the Vikings in this game. I bet the Vikings at +3.
Really?
Yeah, I think the Vikings win this game outright actually tonight. That's tonight, by the way.
Oh,
You got
is it?
Yeah, it's tonight. I think the Chargers just haven't been right since the injuries in the backfield, and
Yeah.
it's really hurt them on offense. And I just don't. When you look at, I think getting Addison back, like I don't care about JJ McCarthy, and I don't care about the quarterback situation in Minnesota because I think it's a push. I'm not a big JJ McCarthy guy, but you got Jefferson and you got Addison back. I think I think the Vikings win this game actually outright tonight. So I'm glad he took it. I actually bet the opposite, but not on the show. All right.
Is the game in LA though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That doesn't mean anything. That means it's a
No, I
Vikings
mean there'll
home
be
game.
more Vikings fans there,
Yeah,
but
no, because I got two. I think that are going to be the same as him. All right. I'm going to start. I have a weird selection here. Okay, a weird selection. I got my 5 games, AJ. I'm taking all. I feel weird. All 5 of mine are underdogs. I have not picked
really.
a single favorite this week. So pick number
Mm,
1. Give me the San Francisco 49ers plus 1.5 on the road at Houston. Um,
I like that.
I don't see it with the Texans this year. The
Yeah, they're
49ers
struggling.
are beat to hell, but they're finding a way. They're beat to hell, but they're finding a way. I like the 49ers plus 1.5 at Houston. All right,
I
what's his
like that
second
one.
pick?
Second pick is Bengals to cover at -6.5 versus the Jets.
Yep, Bengals -6.5 versus the Jets. Justin Fields benched, so we'll see what happens there. They're over.
Tyrod Taylor.
Yep. What's Trey Henderson is supposed to maybe come back this week, so we'll see there. That will definitely help. All right, my second pick, and I'll do a second because it's also his third pick. My second pick and Neal's third pick is the Bears plus 6.5 at the Ravens. I don't care if even if Lamar's playing, he's still got a jacked up hamstring and he's not going to be the same. They'll probably try to do some things game plans wide to eliminate him from the quarterback. I'm talking about the Ravens will not use him as much in the quarterback run, even if he's back. And
Yeah.
I don't think that helps. I don't think that helps the situation at all. I think he has to be mobile. The Bears are playing with confidence right now. The Ravens are not. They are beat up. They're going to get some guys back, but they're still beat up. I like the Bears on the road plus 6.5, and that's also Neal's third pick. My third pick is I'm rolling back interdivision. It's kind of my thing. I did lose last week, got embarrassed with the Raiders and the Chiefs. But if you give me an interdivision game and you're giving me more than one score, I'm taking it. The Giants beat Philadelphia 2 weeks ago at home. Now they're returning to Philly. Philly's favored by 7.5 after losing in New York. I think they keep it within a score. Give me the Giants plus 7.5 on the road at Philly.
I don't like that one, but
Why not?
I mean, hell, the Giants were up 19-0 and blew it
Yeah, but
in Denver.
they didn't lose by 7.5 points though. They're keeping them close. They're
Yeah,
competing. I'll say this: Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo have made them. They
brought
got
life.
some juice. They brought life to them. And look, they're still professional athletes, and it's still a divisional game. Do the Philadelphia Eagles have a much better roster than the New York Giants? Yes, 100%. But I think they're playing with juice. I think they're young enough and got enough juice that they can respond from losing that big loss last week. I don't think they're going to win a game. I'm saying plus 7.5. I'm taking them. All right, his fourth pick.
He's got the Denver Broncos covering versus the Cowboys at -3.5.
Well, I'm going to save some time here. Guess what?
You
I
got it?
have the Dallas Cowboys plus 3.5. I got the other side of this. Give me the Dallas Cowboys plus 3.5 at the Broncos. Dallas is playing well, man. They're playing well right
On
now.
offense.
They're playing well. I think defensively they're struggling, but let's don't act like the Broncos are tearing it up on offense either. I think they outscore the Broncos. Give me the Cowboys plus 3.5. I think Cowboys win this game outright, by the way. Give me the
I
Cowboys
like
plus 3.5.
I like your pick more than his.
All right. Fifth pick.
I actually really like this one. Steelers at +3 over the Packers.
Well, I'm going to help him out because I got the same pick, and I just looked it up before we started. Steelers now 3.5. I have the same pick. Give me the Steelers plus 3.5 at home versus the Packers. I don't know what's going on with Green Bay, man. Ever since the bye week, they've haven't looked the same that they did coming out of the chute. They kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah. They
Now I'll tell you
haven't
what,
been clicking.
defensively they can get to your ass with that pass rush. Now they can create a pass rush, but it's not like the Steelers are a big drop back team. I think with Aaron, he can get the ball in his hands. It's not his first rodeo. And look, I know he's been gone for a little bit and he's been the Jets, but don't think that Aaron doesn't want to stick it to him at home. And he's got his,
No,
you know what I mean?
100%.
And the Packers aren't going to have the same animosity toward him. You know what I mean? So I think that matters in a game like this. I got the Steelers at home plus 3.5.
I
All
like
right.
that one.
Yeah. All right. I want to first of all thank AJ McCarron, the three-time national champ, the three-time world champ, and the future lieutenant governor of the state of Alabama, and the co-host. Where do we put that? Where do we go with do we put that last? Do we put lieutenant governor last behind the Bama Dynasty co-host, or we put it first in front of the three-time world champ? Where would you like that inserted?
Just wherever. It doesn't
Just
matter.
wherever? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you got as we log off here, do you have any message to your constituents, your future constituents? We have any political message you would like to deliver, or are you just gonna stick to sports today?
Yeah, I mean, really stick to sports. I mean, my biggest thing is, I hope I can earn everybody's support. And listen, one thing about this deal takes money and campaign. So if you want to donate, feel free to donate to the campaign. And um, we're going up against two guys in West Allen and Rick Pate, or I would say the top uh, candidates we're competing against. So I'm excited. Something new. It's fun, but I think you know having a chance to do some public service for our great state of Alabama. I think it's going to be fun and awesome to be a part of.
I'm excited. Do I get an invite? Do I get if you win? Do I get an invite to the swearing in?
Oh yeah,
Let's go. Let's go.
yeah.
Maybe me and Neal can do like a live stream right before the inauguration.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool as hell. They probably had never seen that many rednecks there.
The whole mobile racetrack will be there.
Oh yeah. I mean, good thing is we'll have people from all different types of walks of life up there.
Let's go. Let's go. I love it. I love
Yep.
it. Hey, also, for everybody, make sure thank you to betonline.ag, the official sportsbook partner of McCready and Siskey. YouTube doesn't like links. TikTok doesn't like links, but Twitter is okay with them. So if you want to help the show, go to Twitter with the link to go to sign up for betonline.ag is in our Twitter handle. You can go there. You can click it. Get you $250 bonuses, free play plus 50% bonus on Bitcoin deposits, which is what I use. And so make sure you go to check them out at betonline.ag. Also thank to Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, and zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals, and even one day, if you go drink Rain Total Body Fuel after 45 minutes, you will be able to run for lieutenant governor and win in the state of Alabama. I think that should be part of their slogan. I'll have to talk to Greg and Bob and all the folks over at Rain to see if we can get that put in their official slogan. And then,
Yeah.
hey, look, if we go back to Augusta this year, you may have to have like bodyguard protection. How about that?
Well, cool thing is you're lieutenant governor. You get two state troopers to chauffeur you around at all times. So
Let's go.
have a little bit
You need to
if
see
we
if you can
need
get
it.
you need to see if you can get Jesse out of retirement. That's who you need.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
be
would
good.
be sweet.
All right, for AJ McCarron, I'm Tyler Siskey, and we will see you guys back on Monday for Mac 10 Monday. Thank you guys for joining. See you.